Hey there, my name's Carly, and today I'm going to be showing you how to crochet this really cute and easy slouchy hat. You pretty much just need to be able to chain, single crochet, and double crochet. So I'm using a worsted weight yarn. This is from Hobby Lobby, just a category for a yarn. A crochet thread, this is optional. This is just to give it some dimension. Using a 6mm hook, scissors, a tapestry needle, and you might want to have a measuring tape on hand too. So to get started, I'm holding my yarn and my thread together and making a slip knot. So once I have that, I'm going to chain 48, and that is going to be long enough to wrap around my head when stretched. So about 20 inches, my head measures about 22 inches, so I'm chaining about 20 inches. So do about 2 inches less than your head measures. And once we have our foundation chain, we're gonna slip stitch it into a circle. So we're just gonna make sure our chain isn't twisted. I'm just working all the way down, making sure it's not twisted. And then I'm gonna slip stitch into that first chain to make a circle. So once I have that, I'm gonna chain up one, and I'm gonna put a single crochet into that same chain, the one I slip stitched into. And we'll place a single crochet into each chain around as well. I like to work into the back loops because it gives a neater look, but that's up to you. So like I said, single crochet into each chain around the circle, and I will meet you back at the end of this round. So here I am working my last single crochet of the round, and once I have that, I'm going to slip stitch into the first single crochet of the round. Just make sure your work's not twisted when you do this. To start row 2, I'm going to chain up one, and I'm going to work a single crochet, but I'm going to work it into the back loop only. So just picking up that back loop and working a single crochet, this is what we'll do all the way around. Just working back loop only, single crochets into each stitch. So I'll meet you back at the end of the row. So I'm at the end of round 2 here. I'm working my last back loop single crochet into that last stitch, and then I'm just going to slip stitch into the first single crochet of the round once again. So for row 3, we're going to repeat row 2. So chain up one and back loop single crochet into each stitch around, and we're going to repeat this until we have 6 rows total. So I will meet you back at the end of row 6. Here I am at the end of round 6. I'm just working my last back loop single crochet and slip stitching into the first single crochet of the round. And here's what my work looks like so far. So to start row 7, I'm going to do a standing double crochet in the first stitch. Alternatively, you can chain 2 and double crochet, or use a chain 3 as your first stitch. I just think this gives a little bit of a neater seam, so I like to do this. Either way, we're just going to double crochet into each stitch around now, and this is what we're going to be doing pretty much for the rest of the hat until we get to the very end. So anyway, I'm at the end of row 7 here, and I'm placing my last double crochet in that last stitch, and then I'm just going to slip stitch to that first stitch to join. Since I did a standing double crochet, it's a little different, so I'm going under that loop, and I'm going to try to pick up that loop that's under it as well. But don't overthink this too much. If it makes it too complicated, just do a chain 2 double crochet, or use chain 3 as your first stitch, or whatever you want to do. I just wanted to show you what I like to do. So for round 8, we're just literally repeating round 7, and we're going to repeat round 7 until we have a total of 14 rounds. So here I'm finishing the last stitch of my 14th round, and I'm just slip stitching it to that first stitch. So here is round 14, and at this point my hat measures about 8 inches. You can add more rows if you want it to be more slouchy. It's up to you and how slouchy you want your hat to be. So at this point, we're going to start to take in our hat to make it easier to cinch in. So we're going to do decreases all the way around, which means we're going to double crochet 2 together all the way around. So you can see me starting to do that here, and I'll explain this a little slower here in a second. So to double crochet 2 together, we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into the first stitch and pull up a loop, insert our hook in the next stitch and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3 loops, and yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops on the hook. Again, yarn over, insert into the first stitch, insert into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through 2. And this is what we're gonna do all the way around for this round and for the next round as well, but I won't get ahead of myself. I'll meet you back at the end of this round. I'm at the end of round 15. I just double crocheted my last 2 stitches together, and I'm just going to slip stitch into that first stitch once more. And then now we're ready to complete the last round of our hat. And so for round 16, or if you added more rows, whatever row you're on, the last row, we're going to do the same thing that we did for the previous round, which is double crochet 2 together all the way around. And then we'll just slip stitch to the first stitch when we're done with that, just like we did on the previous round. So I'm back at the end of my last round. I'm slip stitching to that first stitch, and now we're ready to tie off. So to do that, I'm going to chain up 1 here, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut my thread about just a few inches long, just to weave that in. I'm gonna leave a longer tail for my other yarn because I'm gonna use that to cinch up the hat. So leave about 12 inches is probably more than enough. And we'll just pull that through. Now I'm gonna take my tapestry needle and I'm going to thread that yarn that I'm using to cinch up the hat. I'm gonna thread that on my needle, and we're gonna start to close this hat up. So I'm inserting my needle into that first stitch to the left of where I tied off, just like this. And then I'm going to insert my needle back through the next stitch, going the opposite way. And I'm gonna do this all the way around, just alternating which way I'm putting my needle in, basically. So just weaving in and out of each stitch all the way around the top of the hat. Once you have that, you're just going to pull on your working yarn to cinch up the top of that hat. And then I like to also make a couple knots to really secure this. And now all we have left to do is weave in our ends, so that's what I am starting to do here. And we don't have many ends to weave in. Once we're done with that, we are done with our hat. So here is the hat all finished. I really enjoyed making this. It's super cute, super cozy. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you love the hat if you decide to make it. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.